Hello, and welcome to the next edition of Vinny Shows You Random Shit That He Has, some of which is very old. After my Pokemon card video, I received a request to show off my old games, and I found them. Not all of them, like the Game Boy games, I don't know where those are at the moment, but they exist. So today, I'm going to show you some random stuff that I found recently. And some of it includes old magazines, and I'll show you a couple of those first. But actually, hey, take a look at this. Let me show you my gamer credentials. This is how I play most fighting games. Oh, I have my game cartridge gloves. Never leave home without them. Never handle a video game or old magazine without them. So, where do we begin? Let's see. Electronic Gaming Monthly, December 1998, cover, Ocarina of Time. Yeah. It's kind of nuts going through some of these magazines and discovering all these first looks and top 10 editors' picks. So we got Metal Gear Solid 1, Abe's Exodus 2, Xenogears 3, F-Zero X, Pokemon, Rogue Trip, Medieval. Number 8 is WCW NWO. Oh, number 9 is Body Harvest. I just streamed some of that. You wouldn't believe it, but it's on there. So, yeah, this is a pretty hefty magazine, and it focuses on... Oh my god. Wow. Well, I didn't expect to see that. Great! I'll grab my stuff! Wow. That was very unexpected. But yeah, it's an Ocarina of Time preview. I'm not going to go through all these magazines, but I love this 3D model of Link so much. It's so, like, future. They thought this was the future of 3D graphics and gaming. I guess they didn't have high-quality enough models, so they made their own. Like, Nintendo just gave them, like, concept art and, like, you know, the stuff that actually looks good. And EGM was like, nah, we'll make this. I like the one, like, strand of hair that's sticking out of Link's forehead, like a tendril. That's a really nice feature. But, I guess they're going for, like a tabloid thing. Link is a teen hunk. What the fuck is this? I have no memory of this. Oh, okay. Blue Dude. What's up, Blue Dude? So, Quest 64 versus Link. Amazing. Yeah, so this is weird. I might have to, like, read some of this because even though the memories aren't coming back necessarily, fascinating. We got some reviews this month. Let's take a look at the reviews, shall we? So N64, we got Cruisin' World, 65655570, Rush 2 Extreme Racing, NBA Live 99. We got Wipeout 64, Twisted Edge Snowboarding, Top Gear Overdrive for PlayStation, Activision Classics, Assault Retribution, Backstreet Billiards. Bomberman World. God, PS1 had so many games releasing compared to the N64. Cool Borders. Looking for anything notable. Oh, well, here you go. Fucking Metal Gear Solid. It's another game I just streamed. 10, 10, 10, 10. I think, for its time, well-deserved. And it's still great. Fifth Element, though, 1.0. Damn. 2, 2.5, 3. Medieval did pretty well. But how do you compare it to Ocarina of Time? You know, you can't. Or rather, sorry, Metal Gear Solid and Ocarina of Time, which probably also got 10s. Xenogears reviewed this month with a 9.0, 9.0, 9.0, and 8.5. Wild 9. I played that. Pokemon. Pokemon will show up a lot today. but 9889 for Pokemon. Interesting. So yeah, fascinating. Very interesting stuff. So that's one. Then you have Nintendo Power, Super Mario 64. This is from 96, I think? Yeah, has to be, right? Volume 88. So it just covers, I guess, upcoming N64 games, but you have Mayro, Princess's Secret Slide. Man, this stuff is bringing me back. Here's some Pilot Wing stuff, too, which is another game I really liked. Those character models, though. Dear Lord. So this is just a random selection. I still have, like, a lot of my magazines. This is just a couple. Before we move on to this next Nintendo Power, though, I have this, which was just randomly in there. 500 tricks. Hottest tricks, sorry. Thank God I have my blue gloves for no reason other than to protect these magazines that I've rifled through with greasy fingers 20 years ago or more. But yeah, 500 hottest tricks. You got some tricks in here with, like, ant font. But Cloud, James Bond, Star Fox, Lara Croft, and then this. I don't know if this is worth something, but considering how much those cards could be worth, I have the Pokemon Times, which is like a fake magazine, fake newspaper again. Thought I had a poster in here, I guess I don't. But yeah, it's basically just a bunch of, it's in pretty good condition too, but I think this was a Nintendo Power insert, and it covers the classic Pokemon stuff, and it gives you like a little bit of a guide. There's a Team Rocket. Jesse, take a look at my Meowth! There's that, there's coughing. Look at that. Wow. It's just like, maybe they just took screenshots from the show. I think they did. But it's pretty cool. I don't know how you could find out if this is worth anything. Not that I need to sell it or anything, but it's here. I'm just curious to see if this is like a rare or desirable item. Here's Hey You Pikachu. Majora's Mask. Among gold and silver. It's the key theme is just Pokemon. Expert Codebook. Over 5,000 tricks, cheats, and codes. This was a time when this was desirable. You wanted a magazine like this. But yeah, there's probably some good codes in there. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, look at all those codes. Man, I want to become a stormtrooper. I don't see the Lara Croft nude code, which was a big rumor at the time. 70 feet, Mario's triple jump distance in Mario 64 XG estimate. Wow. Alright. Here's another crusty 3D model of Reinhardt from Castlevania 64. Official Turok 2 maps. That's probably how I made it through Turok 2. Without actually being able to figure these maps out myself, because the game, as I've talked about recently a lot, is very confusing, and the maps are... These aren't that helpful. These are not helpful maps, I'm sorry. This is not going to help me get through the game. But, you know, maybe it did a little bit. It's hard to tell. There's a poster here. This is one of those classic Nintendo Power posters. It's for the classic game ODT. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But Buck Bumble advertisement. Man, bringing back a lot of weird memories. And yeah. Here's a Metal Gear Solid cover for EGM. I think this actually looks really cool. Where instead of crusty 3D models with primitive consumer-grade, slightly above consumer-grade software, they did some art for Metal Gear Solid. So that looks a lot better. So, first, Dreamcast game screens. Was it Dreamcast? You have a thing called Dreamcast that no one even knew about. And then finally, they know about it. Game Boy camera. Wow. Earthworm Jim 3D. No thanks. Okay. Here's another cool thing I have here. Pokemon Power Collector Series. And it's another little Pokemon thing. It's not in the best shape, but it's pretty cool, I guess. And, yeah, there's another comic. It seems to be a sequel to the previous one. Oh, the previous one's missing a cover. That explains a lot. Collector's Series. Again, I don't know if this is worth anything, but I have it. I also have this poster that I just found, which this is in, like, shockingly good condition. It is the Nintendo Power Pokemon 1999 Gotta Catch 'Em All calendar. So, turns out I had a lot more Pokemon stuff than I thought I did, and I kept it in relatively good condition, aside from just now. PC games, XCOM Alliance, this is from 98, Alien, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, this is 96 again. Now look at that. I have a controller pack, like a memory card that goes in your controller for the N64. I've used some of these stickers. Wow, and I still have some of them. That's crazy. Rare and exciting. Very interesting. Here's a Dong Country guide. It's a player's guide, which I forgot I had. I didn't really need this, but whatever. I have it. It's cool. And, here's another EGM with, there he is. What's his name? Piers Brosnan from James Bond. Very good 3D model. I've never seen that model before, so again, you'd have to imagine they made it specifically. Like, someone on their team was making 3D stuff just for their covers. Doesn't look too bad, though. Zelda 64 first hands-on preview. That I kind of want to find. Let's take a quick look. These weird advertisements from the 90s. I'm looking for it. Here it is. Still called Zelda 64. I think it was closer to Ocarina than its first reveal. They even estimated 70% done. So, it doesn't look too different than what we ended up getting. It's pretty far along compared to what you might have seen at early E3s. But yeah, interesting. Resident Evil 2 advertisement. This stuff is cool to go through for 20 minutes. Here's some more Zelda from Next Generation. Game of the Century. You think maybe we're being a little hyperbolic here? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Ocarina of Time, and I loved it more when it first came out. But, I mean, you gotta sell them magazines, man. So, weird. It's another just weird thing. I don't know what the hell kind of crusty model that is, but I don't think I like it all that much. Rogue Squadron advertisement. You are Luke, so look like Luke. This dude is ready to review all of the best video games. This guy right here. Crash Bandicoot Warped. Kimba. The White Lion. What the fuck? Where's YMS when you need him? A couple more I have. Here's Doom 64. Super NES sequel Lost Vikings 2. There's still Super Nintendo games being covered on this one. And some Star Fox stuff. Pretty cool. I think that was Blast Core. And then here's one more. Game Pro from 1995. This one is especially cool because I know I have magazines that date back earlier, but I just picked up like a random selection of whatever it was I had. And this one in particular happens to have Chrono Trigger. So it's just a little strategy guide. It says first installment of our step-by-step guide to Squaresoft's masterpiece that spans the ages. Try to be as basic as possible, yet cryptic enough not to ruin the fun. So I think this is kind of cool to have. And it doesn't really cover a whole lot, but yeah, it gives you some basic info. And, oh. Ignore... Welcome to game advertising in 1995. For fuck's sake. Virtual Boy advertisements. Dear Lord. This one I need to dig into a little bit. This one I want to check out more on my own time. Yoshi's Island. Man. 1995. Kinda feels like a different lifetime ago, chat. Okay. Yep, there you go. Bugs in someone's mouth for a Gex advertisement. Some PlayStation adverts. This was... There you go. Look at those jeans. Jeans and guitars. Okay. And now for a segment I'd like to call... Okay, and now for a segment I'd like to call Look at My Old Video Games. Again, this was a request, so why not? I found an N64 controller in the box. The box is in, like, almost... I don't want to say perfect, but it's in very good condition. And the controller is also in very good condition. So that was a weird thing to find. I wasn't really... I didn't expect that I kept the controller box. But yeah, it's in there. And it looks like an N64 controller, which is to say that it scares me. I don't want to be stabbed. This is not something I grew up with, but I just needed some place to put it, so I left it in this particular parcel crate. That's what I'm calling it, parcel crate. But it is SpongeBob. I've streamed this on Shovelware Showcase. It's terrible. Or Plug and Play, rather. We'll get to the good stuff. I still have my original controllers for the NES. This is a controller that I, in fact, grew up with. Still works. Wait, no. Actually, that doesn't seem right. Okay, this is a controller I grew up with. This is an original NES controller. Okay, 1, 2, very good. And yeah, it still works. When I did some real hardware corruptions, I used my original controllers and they're good. And I spent a lot of time playing NES games, so that is good shit. My light gun, the Nintendo Zapper from 1985, still have it, still works, and is the original version. Still have my NES. Super Nintendo 2, but this is the one I have on hand at the moment. I actually took this apart at one point, and I needed to gut it for parts for the real-time corruptor, the real hardware corruptor, and I put it back together just last year. But yeah, still works, has a good 72-pin connector. Everything about it seems to be in good shape. And that's, again, a testament to, at the time, Nintendo was making some really quality hardware. And, you know, people called it Nintendium for a reason. We're gonna get all the other stuff out of the way. So, Game Genie for Super Nintendo and the Rumble Pack for the N64. Why not? They're just there. Now I can actually take the games out. I can talk about them a little bit. So, what are we going to start with? Let's start with NES. Now, I have a lot of nostalgia for the NES. I've said that NES games haven't aged well, and I want to kind of reiterate, I think some of them haven't, but many have. You can still play original Mario Brothers. It's still great. You can still play Duck Hunt. It's fine. Mega Man has held up remarkably well, and I still have my Mega Man. This is the only Mega Man I own for the NES. For some reason, I skipped 1, 2, and 3, but went straight to 4. I don't know. It's good, though. Mega Man 4 is good. Maybe not as good as 2 and 3, but still pretty good. I liked it. And I still think it's a good game. Tetris is still a good game. You know, going through these games, I realized how many of these are still very playable. This is not like Atari. I'd prefer the Super Nintendo over the NES, but I spent a long time... If you haven't watched all of my streams, how dare you, but if you haven't watched all my streams, then you would, I can tell you that I've played a lot of Nintendo growing up, as you probably can imagine. The idea being that I was born 85, the NES came out 85, and so I pretty much remember, like, my earliest childhood memories are the Nintendo Entertainment System. And, this has got a Blockbuster sticker on it. Karate Champ? I don't even know where I got this from. That game's probably not that great. Here's another Gyromite, pre-owned, 99 cents. Quality Blockbuster guaranteed. RC Pro-Am was pretty cool. I never was able to finish this game. This was a really tough game to get through. Rare made that, 1987. Cool game for its time. Top-down racing. Had some, like, weapons and oil slicks and shit. But too difficult for me. Again, if you do the math, I was very young playing the NES. Metroid, there's a little crust on it from a sticker, but I love this game still. And for its time, it blew me away. I would just get lost in this game for hours and always discover new things. Still a great game. Speaking of, Mario 3, maybe, in my opinion, the best NES game. I think it is. I think it's the one that you can play... If you've never played an NES game ever, you can play Mario 3 and still enjoy it. I love it. All of these still work as far as I know, by the way. Kid Icarus. 35th anniversary of Kid Icarus coming up. I plan to do a stream of it. Dr. Mario, great puzzle game. Again, going through my collection, I realized just how many of these games are amazing and are still very playable. Dr. Mario is a good example. Gotcha is not a good example. This is not a game that I bought. This game was given to me by someone who got rid of their NES collection, and I ended up getting like 4 or 5 games from them. This game sucks. It's a light gun game. I hate that game. Speaking of, another game that I don't think I've ever even played. I don't know where I got this from. Like, I have no memory of this game or why there's a Blockbuster sticker. Like, maybe I just, like, one day someone just gave me their games? I don't remember. Punch-Out! Spent many times trying to defeat Mike Tyson, failing. Great game, though. Still holds up. Jackal. Recently streamed this. Did not defeat the final boss, but I'll get it. One day I'll get it. Still, though, awesome fucking game. You'll be surprised to know I don't own a Castlevania game. Any of the originals. I borrowed the original, and then years later I played 3 on my own, but don't own one. Owned Game Boy Castlevania, and that was unfortunate. But I really fell in love with Castlevania probably for Castlevania 4, which I rented, and then specifically Castlevania Symphony of the Night many years later was when I became like a Castlevania semi-obsessive for a short time. Mario 2, still a great game, still holds up, still love it. Doki Doki Mario, Operation Wolf. I mean, you know, it's another light gun game. Taito made it. It's got some problems. The light gun's not always good, but it was fun for its time, and it was cool. Like, it was just another military shooter with light gun. So, I didn't particularly love it because it was so difficult, but, you know. And then here's my two favorite cartridges, the gold ones. I'm sure many of you are aware of this, that Zelda 1 and 2 had gold cartridges, but that was extra cool back in the day. And yeah, I still have them. They still work. I've put countless hours into both of these, and glad I still have them. And for the record, I do have the sleeves. Not a ton of sleeves, but a couple. Just dust protection, even though I've done the blow in the cartridge trick probably more times than I ever should have. So that brings us to Super Nintendo. Here's Mario World, my first Super Nintendo game. Still really not much to say about Super Mario World. One of my favorites, clearly. Here's my Star Fox with FX chip. You can see it on the side. Link to the Past. Third favorite game of all time, right behind Super Metroid. This was given to me at a convention recently. I didn't grow up with this Star Trek game. Star Trek The Next Generation Super Nintendo game. I've streamed it, I think. Probably have corrupted it. Hard to remember. All blurs together sometimes. Secret of Mana. Loved playing this co-op. Finished it a bunch. And, you know, it's got its problems, I think, but it's still a game that I revisit and I still view very fondly. So, I think that's Square, like, really doing an interesting job with innovating the genre a little bit, but also being kind of a pain in the ass to make your way through it. Here's a game, Populous, that I didn't know that this was a PC game at some point originally. Populous is like a world builder, it's a god game, and the Super Nintendo version I've played, I've streamed a little bit of it, and it's cool. It probably is way better on PC, but I hated this game. For a short, there's some crust on it, you can see the crust. I hated this game because I didn't understand it, I didn't know what it was. I wanted to shoot or use Link's sword, but that wasn't an option, so I ended up really just putting it aside. And then years later, maybe a year or two later, I picked it up and it became one of my favorites because there's just a lot of depth to it. So, Populous was pretty cool. Here's Pitfall. It's okay. I like it. I don't know why I have this game. I think there were people in my family. My cousin was a big football fan, so I have John Madden 93. I never liked it. I never really understood it. It was just a game. Mario Kart, also great. UN Squadron, also great. Also tough to complete. Still haven't finished that on stream, which is unfortunate. I notice something that upsets me, which is I'm missing Donkey Kong Country. Now, Mario RPG I rented. I never owned it, but I borrowed it. But here's the thing, I definitely own Donkey Kong Country, and I don't know where that is. So that's a little upsetting. Mortal Kombat 3. Donkey Kong Country 2, however, I have. And, yeah, Donkey Kong Country 1 is not here. I wonder what happened to it. And then my prized possession, I guess, Chrono Trigger. Sadly, the cartridge has gotten a little yellow, but I think you can fix that. But it still works, and it is my favorite game, and I'm glad that I still have it. I even have the poster. I mentioned this recently. I found the poster that I was hanging up on my wall from the game, the box. It came with it. Like, the game came with a poster, so I have that. But, yeah, it's my Super Nintendo collection, minus Donkey Kong. I wonder where it is. Here's a controller pack. These were the memory cards for the N64. And there's the sticker from the magazine. So there's that. Now my N64 collection, because there are no end labels, I have no idea what we're going to get, but I'll give you a couple examples. Paper Mario, GoldenEye, Star Fox 64. Already 3 amazing games just to pull out randomly. And yeah, I can't tell you how many hours I lost to these 2 specifically. Paper Mario I played through once, for some reason never finished. One day I'd like to finish it. I think I didn't want it to end, but still a great game. And I'm glad that I have that. Another game I spent countless hours. Same for that one. And maybe a little bit of Mario Party 3. Definitely Perfect Dark. Amazing, amazing collection of games that still work. I might have to, like, use a cartridge cleaner and definitely not blow into the cartridge, but they probably still work. Mario Party 3 was not my favorite Mario Party, but I liked it, and I will stream it again at some point. Rogue Squadron. Still one of the best Star Wars games, in my opinion. It holds up. Here's Banjo-Tooie and Mario Kart 64. And I'm now realizing that my Banjo-Kazooie is missing. Same with Mario Party 1 and 2. So this is not my full collection. I have a feeling some of these games are in their box. So this could be a to-be-continued situation where I do find them eventually, but I really wonder where these games are. But yeah, Tooie I have my problems with, though I still liked it for its time, I just never finished it. And Mario 64 was obviously a huge game for me. For everyone at the time. And here's a couple cartridges that have some colors. Speaking of, my Turok 1 and 2 are both missing as well. So, where the hell are they? I don't know. I will try to find them. I will try to find them. Because I don't want to know that I have these games someplace. If they're lost, they're lost. If they've been sold, I doubt they've been sold, but if they've been sold, then so be it. But, damn. I hope I find them. Turok 3's, by the way, better than people remember it. I think it's probably best level design in the series. And then Donkey Kong 64, well, what more can one say about Donkey Kong 64? It's a flawed game, but you know, with Kong Barrel Switch instantly, it could be good, in my opinion. But I still really have fond memories for it. And this was a surprisingly great follow-up to GoldenEye. Like, it was EA, which at the time wasn't the same EA that we know as they are now, really. And it's just a good, solid first-person shooter with the James Bond feel, and it works. I like that game a lot. And probably, thank God I have these. My 2 favorite or greatest possessions in regards to N64. Majora's Mask with hologram. And Gold Ocarina of Time. So, what can you say about those games? They don't need to be talked about. But I have them, and I am very happy that I do. So, I think that's about it. I'm gonna go look for a couple games. But that's mostly the games that I have. Any other games that I've talked about, some of them I played later on, or I didn't own, or I borrowed, or rented. But I can show you one more cool thing. I worked at a game store, or a toy store, when Metroid Prime came out, and it was my favorite game at the time, and I still have the lanyard. Ask me about Metroid Prime. And you know what? People still are asking me about Metroid Prime. Vinny, when will you play Metroid Prime? Well, like Kid Icarus, it's the 35th anniversary of Metroid this year. So maybe we'll get a trilogy collection. I hope. Probably not. So that's my collection. I have my GameCube stuff. I have my PS1, PS2, all that. One day maybe, but I have a lot more of that stuff. And I feel like the cartridges are more interesting to look at as opposed to plastic cases or jewel cases. So, you know, a tangible cartridge is definitely, to me, more interesting. And anyway, that is the game collection. And I hope you enjoyed this this retrospective of just, I don't know, stuff that I own, really. Good memories. Maybe I'll find my GoldenEye. Maybe I'll find my Donkey Kong Country. Maybe I'll find my...